Good morning, everyone. I'm Shashini Vitanage from Learn. So it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this special session on enhancing research performance with SciVal Analytics. So as the National Research and Education Network of Sri Lanka, Learn is committed to supporting the academic and research community by providing innovative tools and solutions to strengthen research impact and visibility. Today's session is focused on SciVal, a powerful analytics tool powered by the Scopus database. This initiative aligns with Learn's goal to empower Sri Lankan universities in their journey towards improving research quality and global rankings. So I encourage you all to make the most out of this session by actively participating, asking questions, and exploring how SciVal can leverage to meet your institution's goal. So let me introduce the research person for this session. He's Mr. Vijay Reddy. He's from Elsevier. So he's the Senior Manager, Research Intelligence Solutions. So he will be joining with us today to share his knowledge and to introduce about this tool. Mr. Reddy, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shashini. Good morning, one and all. Hope you all are doing good. And right now we are connected. I'm based out of India, Hyderabad. Right, and I'll be happy to meet you all soon in person. Right, so today's session, what we are going to cover, it's not specific to some product, basically. Okay, and I'd like to, it's more of an awareness session, you can say. Right, so without much delay, I would like to share my presentation, like PowerPoint presentation, which I'll be using it. I'll taking the help of it. Okay, so feel free to ask questions. And if at all I can answer, I'll answer, or else I'll come back to you. Right, and please do let me know if you're able to see my screen. Anyone can just confirm it?
Yes, Vijay can see.
You can, okay, wonderful. Okay, so the title of this particular session I can say is Managing the Research, Understanding the Rankings, because we all do research, because almost most of the academic institutions are focusing on research these days, right? So there will be different motivations basically, because to strengthen our academics or to participate in rankings, there are so many motivations behind it. But otherwise, if you look at managing the research is right has become it used to be at the back end, now it has become at the front end, and most of the academic institutions are focused. And today's session I'll be covering what could be the best practices. Most of them are with my experience, which I have gained with my conversations, the globally or mostly in South Asian part of this, and also APAC region. Right, and also I can also share what could be the open resources, which might be of some help for the researchers, which are been coming from Elsevier. So this is what I would like to share to them. So to give a small introduction about myself, I'm working with Elsevier from past 10 years now. It's a decade, right? And most of the universities have been actually right in Sri Lanka as well, in the South Asian part, and face to face I could actually have the interaction with. So I'm actually privileged to do that, right? And basically my qualification, I'm an engineer with MBA. So this is what about me, right? And so let me start with the rankings, because most of the universities would be interested in the ranking, right? And currently we have 23 world university ranking, right? So from the various part of the world, these rankings are coming out, which I've listed on your right hand side. Okay, so Beyond the rankings, there are some regional rankings, subject-specific rankings, and impact assessment. So, regional rankings, like for instance, in India, we have NIRF, okay, National Institutional Ranking Framework, basically, right, where most of the Indian institutions participate, not foreign university participate. It's specific to the regional and national as well. Then subject specific, most popular is QS subject rankings. You might have heard about it, and most of the Sri Lankan universities also participate. Right. So subject specific, let us say engineering or social sciences, medical, these are the subject specific. So you compete globally, right, at the subject specific. And regional can also be APAC, Asia specific as well, right? So these can be the regional specific. And the last one is impact assessment, which are coming very recently, they are coming up, which actually assess the SDGs assessment, because SDGs, right, the Sustainable Development Goals, which is an initiative from the UN, and there are most of the countries globally are participating in it, and are seriously taking up that particular goal. Okay, and all this starts from the policy decisions and also some research which actually helps to take up these SDGs. So our academics also take a major part in this particular thing, and to assess the contribution in the SDGs, these impact assessments also come up. Like we have THE impact, okay, then we have QS also coming up, and there are so many other impact assessments also coming up. So these are the rankings which are there actually. Most of the universities also talking about and also participating. Right. And these days you can see the entry barriers are coming down, because there used to be, right, entry barriers like there should be some kind of qualifying criteria which says at least 500 publication has to be there, okay, year on year, or on average for 3 years, 1,000 publications should be there. So these kind of criteria used to be there, right? So those barriers have been lowered year on year, okay, which actually encourages the university to participate. So that's what the whole idea behind, right? And the another one which I could actually see, instead of moving from the quantitative metrics, people are more focused on the qualitative. Right, qualitative metrics are, I can say, like the impact of that particular research. So these are the ones, instead of simply going with the number of papers and all. Right. So this is actually the good sign. And we also have in Sri Lanka, we have presidential awards. So like presidential awards is a one stepping stone. Okay? It's actually a one major building block which actually can say the assessing the quality of the researcher. We are also part of it. Scopus data is also being used, where SJR is being considered, which talks about the qualitative part of it, not just the quantity. How many papers are being coming out from a researcher? So it's not that particular thing, but how many papers are in SJR? Okay, SJR is one of the journal level metrics, which is the qualitative metrics of a journal, right? So we are privileged to be part of it, and we are giving the data, and Scopus data is being used over there, right? So similarly, there are so many other qualitative metrics being actually considered in these particular ranking matrices when they are used. We'll just see in a while, right? And then why these university rankings are important, why so many universities are being behind it. Basically, it actually university's reputation. It talks about how good we are, how different we are, right, in our academics, right? So that's what it talks about, and also it actually helps in marketing them, right? It's a good one. It's actually a good way. So marketing generally carries a negative perception, but marketing is actually a positive thing when we bring out the research in front of it. If you look at California University, they are actually doing great in terms of the ranking, their participation, and they tracking themselves. That's actually doing great in that part, right? Because I'm closely monitoring them as well. And if you look at Peradeniya University, yes, I have seen their rankings also doing good, right? And Colombo University also. So these are the three universities which I'm seeing very closely. Okay, so I could take the names, and there are other universities also probably they are doing good, and I didn't track. So please don't okay mind in a different way. I'm just taking these three names because I've been monitoring those particular things and associated with them. Okay, then research impact metrics is what we are going to see. Okay, which such as publications, citations, because any research, okay, we can't escape from these matrices, right? Okay, like the number of publications, how impactful those publications were, and all. So these are very important. And citations are very, very, very important for this because that is a mother metrics for every metrics we talk about, any qualitative metric, right? If you talk about the citations, it's part of every qualitative metric. You talk about SJR, the Chicago Journal ranking, you talk about journal impact factor, you talk about your own citation metrics, everywhere citation is part of it, or your H index, right? So all these matrices, citation is part of it. So these are very important indicators when we talk about university ranking. Or otherwise, if irrespective of the university rankings, if you want to understand or monitor your own okay university research output, these are the very, very important okay matrices which we need to consider. So my request is if you can put up your questions in the chat box. Okay, and Shashini would actually help with the logical breaks. We can answer those questions if at all I'm qualified to answer those. Right. So you are encouraged to ask questions in the chat. Okay. Now, if you look at broadly, right, if you broadly the kind of weightage we keep looking at the university rankings, okay, at the evaluation metrics. So these are the broader ones which I'm talking about. The specific ones we pick up a couple of examples and then discuss about it. Right. So these are the broader ones. One is the reputation, the inputs, then the kind of websites and the social media presence. Then international, that is one of the big elements which we talk about. The exchange programs we talk about, right? The faculty and student ratios we talk about. So in international collaborations, and there are certain matrices these days. We talk about how many international collaborations, what is your international network, okay? How you are actually been collaborated internationally, right? And region-wise also been monitored these days. So it's great to see like Sri Lanka as a country. There are so many countries has to learn from that. Sri Lanka as an entity, if you look at the way you are collaborating internationally, is excellent, awesome. Kudos to all the researchers basically here who are very, very active, right? Very, very active internationally. Okay, the way we are collaborating. So that's the great way to go, right? So that's not a big issue for Sri Lanka as a whole, but when we look at a specific institution, then we can discuss about that. But overall, broadly, Sri Lanka as a country, you are doing great, right? Then coming to the outputs, which talks about the patents coming out and graduates coming out, it's what's also been monitored. And mostly these, the ones which I have discussed are in general, more or less will be in control of the university administrators and all, right? And the key differentiator would be the bibliometrics. Bibliometrics, what I mean to say, which will be minimum 30, okay, and above. It actually is the key differentiator. The publication, the citations, how many articles been published, what are the quality aspects of it. These actually plays a very, very important role. But otherwise, if you look at the inputs, the web presence, the social media, internationalization, these things more of are being coming through the policy, right? In certain countries, the international element which I'm talking about will be controlled by ministry, right? So we don't have much say on that one. It's all about the policies. Certain countries will allow the international students into the country, or international faculties coming in, which a few countries doesn't allow. So that hardly we have any say in that particular thing. But otherwise, more or less the other matrices which we discussed, more or less are the administrators have a great control over it, right? But when it comes to the bibliometrics is what the key differentiator which I am just trying to say, and we'll focus on that particular thing. Next slide. Right. Hope you are getting my point. I'm not that fast in covering these areas. Right. So let's look at to start with the World University Bank. So we'll take up these two examples, then we go to the specifically how to manage the research part and all. Right. So this is the QS World University ranking, and there is a change in their metrics as well. Right. This is how it works basically. Right. And the academic reputation, faculty, the citations per faculty, right? And then we have the employer reputation, right? And we have faculty student ratio, international student ratio. This was I was talking about, international faculty ratio. So these are the ones, right? And then international research network, which was recently added basically. Okay, it's in short form, it calls as IRN. It talks about, it got added in 2023. Just last year, it got added basically. All right. It talks about how active you are internationally, how many countries you're collaborating with in specific regions. That's how it is then actually counted. Then employment outcomes, right? That also been very recently added because every rankings have been getting evolved and improvised year on year based upon the feedback sample. If you remember, most of the university have participated. There was an Elsevier workshop which we have conducted just before COVID, right? We brought in QS as well in that particular session, right? And that was a good interaction with all the universities that time, right? So from then to now, there are a lot of been changes in the criteria which the QS is actually been rating and ranking all the universities, right? And another new thing which was added is sustainability. Sustainability specifically, which I'm talking about, was the contribution in SDG, right? So these are the ones which I'm talking about, and the one which are being actually been put in the red color boxes is specifically which comes out from the research, right? And it is more than 30% which actually there clear cut in number coming out from the research output. And also the ones which you talk about academic reputation, right? And the other collaboration also, the research, the influence of the research is very high. Because when I talk about academic reputation or the way we collaborate internationally, right? How people will actually attracting the international students, right? So when we showcase our sense academically, right? It means how the research is there in our institutions. It actually talks more, right? So and we can showcase very easily through our research metrics. So the influence is there indirectly and directly. We the ones which are being covered in the boxes, right, are directly having a relation. Okay, when it comes to any world university rankings, your absolute number in research and research metrics are being considered over there, right? So this is about the world university rankings when it comes to QS, right? And I know like most of you are aware of it, you are keeping a track of this particular thing. But to set a base to our discussion, I'm just covering this in a couple of slides. And this is another most popular one. Most of the universities participate in this particular thing, especially in Asia and South Asian part, right? And this is the but THE comes in regional and also world university rankings and also the impact ranking as well. So three separate basically, and universities choose their own way to participate in this. So in this, if you look at research reputation and teaching reputation directly gets into this, then research quality around 30%, right, which has direct, and this is the research reputation and teaching reputation as indirect. It actually influences your the research strength basically. So this is what I would like to highlight. When it comes to the impact rankings, it's straightforward your contribution in SDGs, right? It straight away it actually picks up from this particular method. Right. And if you look at research quality, right, we have seen the middle one, which I'm talking about. Right. In this particular thing, the straight away your absolute numbers have been picked up, like research influence, research excellence, then research strength. It all put together 30% straight away. Plus, there are additional indirect, influences of your research, your university research influences this particular thing. The citation impact. Right. There are a couple of matrices which are being directly picked up from certain tools. I'll just share it in a bit from that. So this is about the university ranking and the role of research in it, right? How directly, indirectly influences your rankings part, and how academically you can actually showcase your strength to the global community. And we'll come to the basic fundamental question. Why Elsevier is talking about QS or THE ranking, right? So how we are qualified in picking up this particular topic. So how we are qualified is Elsevier Association actually says this, because we are the sole data provider when it comes to the research metrics in these university rankings to both QS and also the TH. Both Scopus and SciVal data is being used, right, while we assess the research metrics, to the respective, the universities are coming and applying there. So this is how we are qualified to talk. And whenever there is an event, whether it is QS or THE, you find Elsevier people in that. And next week there's one THE event also happening in India, in Delhi. So I've seen a couple of Sri Lankan universities also traveling to Delhi and participating there. And I'd love to meet you in person over there. So we'll see you there in the next week. Right. So now, this is too much to grasp in 5-10 minutes, right? So for that, we have come out with the university ranking guides, which also gives, it can play like a guide to all the universities, to which one actually to monitor, what kind of matrices are useful, and which are the matrices we need to actually really work on and to follow, and how we can actually universities can plan their participation in the university rankings and all. So we have come out with certain guides as well, which is a simple, light PDF versions of it. So links are also been provided here. And this particular, the material will be circulated, and Shashini is so kind that after this particular session, she will be able to help you out with this particular material. And you can actually access these, and you can circulate it among your stakeholders and browse to have a glance with this particular thing, and hope this will be immense help for you all moving forward. Because ranking exercise, as it is say, a week, right? And looking at the rankings, it's one day. But participating and improving that, basically, it will be of a 3 years exercise. 3 years effort basically is being ranked in one particular day, right? So all your 3 years effort come into picture, right, in that particular one day, right, when the rankings are being announced, right? So today you are working, this particular thing will be, right, reflected the third year, right? So that's how it actually works. So Today, someone is ranking you, all your 3 years work is been right assessed and been ranked. That's how the window works, right? So every step, every what do you say, thought process going towards your research really plays very important role for you personally, okay, as a researcher and also for an academic institution as well. Right. So now coming to the tactics, right? So what are the great tactics to improve our ranking? So one is we need to understand how we can qualify for, whether we are qualifying to participate in these rankings or not. So everything starts from monitoring our. There's nothing else than okay the way to okay the shortcut to getting into the rank. So if you look at we have seen the matrices there and the criteria what we have seen for both the QS and THE. Similarly, any other rankings which you are participating, you are interested in, right? So you can just try to understand what kind of matrices are being used, what kind of right weightage is being given to them, right? So infrastructure weightage, faculty ratio, and all right. So that's fine. Like the administrative is taken care of. But when it comes to the research part, so that particular specific element which the weightage is 30 and above percentage. So this is what we are now going to discuss. Right. So there are different stakeholders where they can actually contribute in improving their research and also okay enhance the research part. So the first basic part is the library. It plays very important role. So all the librarians and the people, the stakeholders in the library are plays very important role, right? And when it comes to the publication strategy, so the greater impact, everything starts from the right the library because I have seen so many institutions or researchers. Okay, the entire institution talks about participating in QS or PHE ranking, but unfortunately, the researchers actually follow a different databases and different matrices. They follow I-10 index, they follow some other matrices. Of course, they play an important role, but straight away, if you look at right where they are publishing, in which quality journals they are publishing, it plays very important role, right? So with due all respects to that particular databases, right? But it's very important for us to understand, let us say QS, THE or some other ranking base, which kind of data they are using. We need to follow that particular thing so that our data reflects over there. Okay, if you are using a different database for that or to monitor yourself, you're not able to see the mirror image of what you are doing and what you wanted to, what you aspire to, right? So it's a big gap over there. So it is highly recommended that if you have an aim, a goal to achieve higher rankings in certain okay world university rankings, follow that particular thing. It helps you a lot, right? So that's how it really goes in directly into that particular ranking. All your efforts goes. And library can actually plays a very important role in monitoring these, where the departments are publishing and how you can further improve it. Is there any scope in improving that or not? So that is where libraries can really play an important role. Then the metrics report. Okay, the metrics reports. So every month I can say it's important that the librarians can actually play an important role by submitting these metrics reports to all the departments or school wise, right? What kind of metrics? All the metrics which you are following, right? Let us say in QHE, TH or any other, okay, the ranking. So all those metrics can actually sum up. Okay, that reports can actually be a monthly reports which can actually be circulated among the key stakeholders and we can track your progress. So that's how we can do it. Then coming to research office. So all the policy decisions comes out from the research officers. There's no doubt about it. And IQAC plays a very important role. Okay, in India and of course in most of Sri Lankan universities also I have seen there are certain policies. Based upon the experience of the researchers, they clearly instruct, or there are the policies says early career researchers, they go in Q4 journals or Q3 journals. And mid-level researchers or the faculty members, they have to publish in Q3 and above. Okay, senior researchers, Q2 and above, they need to publish in. That's how they have these kind of, the policies in place. The research office and IQAC departments plays a very, very important role. Apart from these, the very important part is how we collaborate. So that's very important. Let me show with a small example over here now. Right. I'll just change the screen. So this is the Sri Lanka research output. Right. So we were talking about the matrices which excuse me, the library has to monitor and research office has to monitor, and monthly we need to circulate this particular thing. Right. One is our research metrics, which talks about our quality aspect. So here, if you look at Sri Lanka as a whole, I'm not picking up any specific institution, for instance, over here, because it's a mix of the participants over here. It doesn't look good if I pick up something, so you'll be able to compare yourself right now. So after this session, okay, I discussed with Learn as well. If there are any specific interest coming out, we can have the session, okay, at the university level, so that we can talk about specific university data and discuss how we can further improve at the university level. Sorry. So for that, I've just stored that particular discussion for the later session. But for now, let us look at the Sri Lanka as a whole. So if you look at here, the field weighted citation impact, which is a normalized metrics of an entity, right? Similar metrics we can actually pull out for specific institution and university as well, right? So what is this field weighted citation impact? It talks about the overall impact of an entity, right? So field weighted, this itself says, right? Like for instance, let me give a small example, a lengthy example. There are faculty members in any university setup, medical faculty, we have engineering faculty, we have arts and humanities, social sciences faculty, right? Medical faculty publishes in Q1 journal, high quality Q1 journal. And same is the case with engineering faculty. Same is the case with social science, right? Medical faculty, when he publishes, after 1 year, the medical faculty, when he publishes in Q1 journals, he will get at least 20 citations, or let us say on an average 12 citations. Okay. Then engineering, it is also a Q1 journal. He also publishes at the end of the year. Here he will get 8 citations, right? And social sciences or arts and humanities faculty, at the end of the year, he also published in Q1. He or she, the researcher, got 5 citations, right? So, but if you look at the absolute value of it, medical faculty, he has got, excuse me, I got sore throat, okay. Medical faculty got 12 citations at the end of the 1 year. But what is the common thing here is everyone has published in Q1. But there is a change in the citation, right? Medical 12, engineering 8, and social sciences 5. Absolute value, if you look at, based upon the citations, medical faculty has done a great job. Am I right? So for this particular thing, what we can easily tell is the citation patterns of different fields, different research areas will be different, right? To normalize this, we brought in, Elsevier has brought in a normalized metric where there will be a level playing field for all the, the research areas, right? So here field weighted citation impact, this can be applied to any research area and we can do the comparison, right? So here 12 citations is equal to the 5 citations of social and 8 citations of engineering. right? So that's how it works. So world average is 1. Anything above 1 is above world average. Anything below 1 is below world average. That's how it works. So henceforth, if you look at field weighted citation impact, which is being directly taken up by THE, right? This field weighted citation impact. So that's how we can read it. So I'll show you one small example over here. Same field weighted citation impact. I'll divide it. I will look at the subject level. Right. We are still in Sri Lanka. Right. See here. Overall field weighted citation impact of Sri Lanka as a whole country is 29% above world average. Right. This overall. Now, if you look at engineering, if you look at the engineering research in Sri Lanka country, this is the most, researched area right now. 1.04 means only 4% above world average is what the Sri Lanka engineering research impact is. That's how we need to read. When it comes to computer science is less than world average, 13% less than world average. Now, third one, the top 3 will just look at. Third one is medicine. Medicine is double the world average. Right. That's how we need to read. So most of the citations are coming from medicine. So out of 4,498 scholarly output, okay, from the medical related research, 90,000 citations are coming from the medical research alone. And the overall field citation impact, overall impact of this particular research is double the world, right? And then if you look at the engineering and if you look at the computer science, you'll understand how it works. So it's a level playing field over here if you consider this particular metrics alone. But if you consider citations, medicine is much above than any other field. So that's how we can actually understand it. Right. Hope you understood, okay, what I'm just trying to say. Now coming to going back to our research office. One is improve the grant success, recruitment and collaboration. Right, I'll come back to that particular other two, grant success, recruitment. But first, let's look at the collaborations part. Let us understand how collaboration really works. So this is the overall, okay, geographical collaboration, okay, and how our researchers are collaborating globally or within the institution or within the country. So this data is between 2019 to 23, right? So here, if you look at 49.1% of the research output is coming from the international collaboration. Okay, so if you look at when I started my session, I said that most of the countries has to learn from Sri Lanka because our Sri Lankan researchers are very active, right? They are pretty active in terms of collaborating internationally, right? So, and you are still doing great in this particular thing. When I've seen 3-4 years back, Sri Lankan international collaboration was above 50%. But right now, maybe because of the COVID and all, this has come down, right, a bit. But otherwise, we are going strong over here. 49% of our papers are through international collaboration. And why this is important is, if you look at the citations per publication is 20.6, right? So 20.6 is average number of citations which we are garnering through international collaboration. So that's what we need to read. And hats off to all the researchers from the Sri Lankan institution. The way you are actually collaborating globally is excellent, is awesome. And you are getting the excellent result. So that's why research office plays a very important role when it comes to collaborating globally, right? It's not just the policy, but the research office role is actually how we collaborate, and the research office has to monitor whether our collaborations are yielding some better results or not. So if you look at the institutional level, this can help us a lot, right? So here, overall, if you look at 49% of our publications, it is giving us great results with 20 and above average number of citations per paper is coming up. Then if you look at national collaborations and institutional collaborations, see the citations per publication have dropped down to single digit, right? 5.5 and 4.5. This is how it actually works. So international collaboration is very, 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 very important for us. And we need to monitor how our collaborations are moving specifically with certain institutions. For instance, I'll just go to current collaborators. So with this, we'll just move out and look at the different head of it. You can just ask questions if you have. Okay, so for instance, here, well, most of our collaborations are coming from Australian institutions. And see the field weighted citation impact. It's awesome, like 3.61. And then comes to United States, then United Kingdom. So these are the top three by volume, right? 4 and another 4. This is what the field weighted citation impact. India is also very close. We are very close neighbors. And it is fourth position. And it's also growing by 74%. That's good. And if you look at field weighted citation impact is much better than United States and United Kingdom. So it's a generic statement, but you can go by institution wise and filter out which kind of specific institutional collaboration are not working for you. So when this part we can discuss when we come down to the institutional level data. So these are the generic ones which I'm talking about. But otherwise, if you look at our Chinese in top 5, if you look at our Chinese collaboration are giving us much better than all other with 5 field weighted citations. So that's how it basically works. I hope you understand now. So what we have to monitor basically when it comes to research office is the collaboration part, which really plays a very important. Then apart from that, a research office can play a very important role in attracting more grants, right? Because research is a very expensive one, right? We need lots of money to do this. So the fund position is very, very important, plays a very important role over here. So continuously research office will play a very important role in attracting more funding, right? By showcasing our present, the research strengths to the world, right? And popularizing our research, right? That's how you can actually attract more funds into our academic institution. Then parallelly recruiting the top researchers, who are available within the country, outside the country, which can actually add value to our, the research scenario. So these are the 3-4 important things what the research office can actually do, and which is a recommended housing. Then apart from that, research office has to, the way library keeps sending the research reports to all the head of the department or the faculty members, research office actually monitor and analyzes the overall institutional performance. Right. So that's how library and research officers are expected to play a very, very important role. This is actually right. The best practice, I'll say. Right. So this is not a broader comment or anything, but it's a recommended best practices for any institutions to pick up. Then faculties and deans. So they are the researchers. Apart from that, they also play an important role, in taking forward and strengthening the research basically, because they are the ones, the faculty and deans they are the ones who control the majority, the qualitative aspect of it. Is it not? So they need to understand their position in terms of research trends and research, okay, topics where we are actually publishing in and where we can actually publish it. I'll just take example of one more report, which I can say topics. I'll go to the topics. I'll just give you one example because theoretically you might not really grasp everything. So if I just show you some kind of data, it helps you. So in Sri Lanka, between 19 to 23, if you look at most of our research are in standard model, which is in the physics, right? Most of the research is coming out of this particular topic cluster, right? And field weighted citation impact is 2.76. Similarly, if you go to the topics, so what is the difference between topic and topic clusters? So topic clusters are what Elsevier has done is the research areas. All the researchers are divided in, okay, more than 99,000 research topics. So it's easy for the researchers to pick up and understand the performance. Right. So topic cluster, if any research, there is more than one topic is involved, we called as a topic cluster. So overall, between 19 to 23, Sri Lankan researchers are involved in, okay, 1,316 research clusters. They have put their efforts in more than 1,300 research clusters. And all put together, our researchers from Sri Lanka have put their effort in 8,395 specific topics. Right. So these are the topics, and I'll just tell you, if I keep going on, it will take, okay, more than the time which has been allotted. So I'll pick up newly emerged topics, okay, for 2024. What Elsevier does is, it picks up what are the new emerging topics. What are the new emerging topics? Globally, how the researchers are picking up the new topics, right, which were not there in the past 5 to 10 years. Right. So that's what we pick up and will share. How Sri Lanka also been actually moving towards this trend or not. Right. Or to specific country or to specific institution, we pick up this and share this particular data. So if you look at, this is one of the newly emerged topics for 2024. Online learning, COVID-19. This is the one, most of the research happening, and still research is happening in COVID. But if you look at, okay, the 28 scholarly output has come out from this particular area, and there are certain topics are not really giving much impact. So vaccine efficiency, right? This is the second most one which Sri Lankan researchers also picked up from the emerging topics, but the impact of this particular thing is much, much lower. So this is how the faculties and deans can play a role in understanding their position, which areas, which topics our researchers are been publishing right now, what are the emerging topics, how we can actually, okay, invest our time in emerging areas, right? So what is the biggest issue if we are not spending our time or picking up the emerging areas or the trending topics or trending research areas or the ones which are actually bothering the mankind and which has a very important role to play, right? Because entire world will move towards that. All the funding will be made available towards that. And most of the researchers, when they involve in that particular thing, and you also publish, you get more citations. Right, that's how the chain reaction. It actually works in that particular way. And faculties and deans will play their important role in picking up the right research topics, research area, and also supporting the young researchers and the young faculty members to adhering to these specific research quality, okay, processes, so that because mass number of the research papers will come out from the young research, right? So it is how the faculty members and the deans, they are playing the very important role, right, in supporting the young researchers and faculty, right? Then moving to the final pillar, executive management. there's one question basically. Can we see the world topic trends compare with Sri Lanka? Yeah, we can do that. Okay. After finishing that, we'll pick up one and then I'll show you one example. Then executive management, the top layer of the pyramid, right? Encourage the evidence-based culture than perception-based culture, right? There are so many perception-based culture actually will be prevailing most of the time, right? I can just take one of the examples. For instance, there are certain journals basically which are much popular. They go by the perception. But if you look at the exact journal level metrics, they are really performing poor, right? There are so many practical examples which I can share. So all the researchers are encouraged to go by the evidence-based culture rather than the perception. So evidence-based is always helpful for you because when the evaluation happens for your promotions or the way you're performing or you're participating in some kind of ranking, evidences are very important than the perception, right? So this is very, very important. Then executive management, they can contribute in recruiting the top performers, right? Encourage the top performers as well. So there was a question, we'll go to that particular thing and we'll come back to this particular part, which is very, very important for all of us. Right. So yeah, this is the topics we are in newly emerged topics for 2024 worldwide, and we have certain contributions as well. Say online learning. This is more generic. Vaccine efficiency. So let us analyze this in the country and analyze worldwide. Let us analyze it the worldwide. So before that, let us look at our scholarly output are 11 in this. This is the number 2 in our country, and our field-weighted citation impact is 0.82, means 18% less than the world average. Let us analyze this particular research summary at the global level. Okay, so at same period, 19 to 23, our quality was 0.82. So, which is 18% less than the world average. But globally, the research impact is 4 times the world average. So we need to actually do something different there to catch up to this particular level, right? Otherwise, there are 8,118 publications and close to 2,000 collaborations happened, and 33 citations per publication has been received under this research topic. And if you look at the subject cloud, okay, word cloud out of it, and this is basically a trending topic globally, which based upon the color code we can understand. So here the green color talks about it's growing. People are actually looking for the efficiency of the COVID because every second day we can see young people are getting heart attacks, and which are being linked to the COVID vaccine and all. How far it is true or not, I'm not a qualified person, but there are news articles, news media also, and I understand there are a lot of research is also happening whether there is an influence of the vaccine around this or not. So time will tell, and research output actually the research evidences can actually tell the link between these two. But otherwise, if you look at, there are so much of research happening around vaccine efficiency and other aspects of it. Right. So this is how it is working here. We can actually analyze it. And thank you so much for asking this question. Okay, please explain about patent metrics too. Oh, you're a true researcher. You're actually pulling out a lot of data from here. Okay. Yeah, I can just tell about that. I'll just go back to our Sri Lanka. So I came back to Sri Lanka metrics now. So what is policy impact? What is patent impact? So these are actually the ones which uh, talks about what is the influence of our research, societal, what is the impact, and to the innovation as well. So there are the two aspects. Policy impacts talks about how our research, Sri Lankan research, have seen a place in certain policy, shaped up a policy, or it influenced a policy globally. And patent impact, how our research actually helped in some kind of innovation, right? So this is what we are actually talking about. So between 19 to 23 again, first we look at how Sri Lankan research has helped, okay, in the society. So that's what we talked about. So 907 research, okay, output are being cited by the policy document, right? And which are those policies? These are the policies. 399 policy makers have cited Sri Lankan papers, Sri Lankan research on. These are all are there. So UNESCO have cited your papers, World Health Organization have cited your papers, World Bank have also cited your papers. Like that, yours means Sri Lankan researchers have played a very important role, okay, have influenced the society as well, right? Of course, obviously it is a positive thing, right? So kudos to you all. You're doing a great job over here. This clearly shows, right? There are intergovernmental, which talks about bodies like UNESCO, World Health Organization, World Bank. They have cited. Then there are certain United States specific policy bodies have cited. United Kingdom. There are so many other countries. Okay, the policy bodies which are in different countries have also cited. Even in Sri Lanka also they have picked up the papers, and that's quite obvious, right? So this is what what we mean to say, right? Patent metrics or policy metrics. So let me take you to the patent impact. So this is what the patent impact is. 250 scholarly output have been of Sri Lanka has been cited by different patents. So which are the patent offices? 384 patent offices. Right. And who are the patent owners or applicants? These are the ones. So we have all the evidences over here. So mostly from United States, followed by Switzerland, then Germany. So then patent offices, mostly from WIPO, World Intellectual Office, then United States, then China. So these are the ones which have these patents got influenced by you. They have cited your research output. Hope I have answered your question. Yeah, let's now move ahead. Yeah, thank you. Now, again, like there are so many research metrics we discussed right now, and again, this half an hour or 15 minutes of time, it's really difficult for you to understand or grasp everything. So again, to help you out to understand more about the research metrics, there is a research metrics guidebook. What you can do, you can just Google it, research metrics guidebook plus Elsevier. You'll get hands-on to this particular PDF, which explain each and every metrics in detail, right? And you can understand further, and this can be circulated among all the researchers in the institution. Right. So anyway, this is a part of this material which I'm trying to share it. Learn will definitely share it with you all. Right. And you can make use of it. Now comes to the most important part is what are the best practices? Okay, this is the researcher level. We discussed broadly about what libraries, how libraries can play an important role, how research office can actually help all the researchers, how the administrators who are at top of the pyramid can help, how the the deans and senior faculty members can support the young researchers and all. Right. Now, we'll be discussing about what are the best practices in general, where a researcher can actually, okay, consider these while he is publishing or doing his research. Okay, the first thing first, you have to use your name consistently throughout your academic career. That is the first and basic thing, right? Whether it is the responsibility of a researcher or it is a responsibility of a database which is maintaining your data, right? So that's the question. It is researcher's responsibility. Why? Let me tell you example. My name is Vijay Shekhar Reddy, total, complete name. Okay, but right, what I'll do is I use my certificate name is Vijay Shekhar Reddy, but I generally use as Vijay Reddy. And the same is the case with the researchers as well. Their full names would be something different. The way they use their names will be completely different. Right. So what happens, these things basically, when you keep on publishing using different names, your profiles, different profiles will get created. So we'll take one of the examples over here. I'll take one example. Search. I'm using Scopus over here now. Shashini, how much time do we have? Or already we're running out of time.
Yeah, Miss Reddy, but that's okay. We will be like anyways recording the session and making available for person who needs to leave. So that's
Okay.
fine.
That's fine. Okay. I'll just take the University of Colombo. I randomly picked up, don't mind. Okay, this doesn't mean that all the profiles are like this. No. Okay. I just randomly picked it up because this is one of the top universities in Sri Lanka. Right. I'm just taking an example. Okay. Here. Yeah. We are able to see here. Here, Sonadara, if my pronunciation is right. Okay, it's not, to please excuse me. D and UJ. So this particular researcher has used different prefixes and suffixes over here, right? And other names here, if you see, Sonadara D. So there is a difference basically here. And there are numerous examples which I can share. Somebody has given their full name and somebody has given these kind of abbreviations as well. And it generally happens, right? And it generally happens. And this actually what happens, it creates a lot of ambiguity here when it comes to the name, and different profiles would be created, right? By default, different profiles will be created because there are so many Vijays, right, in the world. It's not just me. Okay. Similarly, your names also will be different. And this is a global problem. So we need to consistently use our name throughout our academic career, right? Tomorrow, someone wants to claim, let us say presidential award is happening, and you need to show your total number of papers, and you find suddenly all your papers are not been linked to one particular profile. So there's an issue, right? All your papers are got scattered throughout, right? So for that, to avoid these kind of situations, one is you need to use your name consistently throughout your academic career, and also you need to use certain hacks like ORCID IDs, ORCID, right, which is a unique identifier of a researcher. You need to link up all your profiles properly with those IDs, so which helps you to tag all your publications to one particular profile. So these are the things which you need to do, right? There was one question over here. What are the most yeah, we'll come back to that. Let me cover this. I'll come back to the question. So meanwhile, please put all your questions. This is the last slide. right? And last second slide rather, but we are spending little time over here. Right. So please use your name consistently. Then use a standardized institutional profile affiliation. Right. Somebody again uses the departmental names as well. Let us say University of Peradeniya, Faculty of Medicine. So people try to use both the names. Suddenly what happens is sometimes Faculty of Medicine profile gets created as an affiliation separately. Then again, what will be losing? All these, papers which are tagged to Faculty of Medicine, Peradeniya, it will get, most of the times it doesn't get tagged to University of Peradeniya. So it generally happens. You need to keep tracking of this, or you need to standardize your institutional profile where research office can take a call over here and suggest a particular name under what the legal name under UGC and all, and people can keep using that particular name as a standard so that your papers won't get scattered to different other affiliations, right? So this is the another foremost important thing. Then collaborate more, industry or internationally. You don't find much of the industries in your locality who are most research centric and all. So you can go internationally. So this is not a problem at Sri Lanka, but specific to your institution, you can see. You can also see which international institutions you are collaborating but are not garnering more citations. You can just review that particular thing, but you can collaborate more internationally to garner more citations, right? So that is the first most important. Then publish your work in a journal indexed in a popular A&I databases. So this is the most important thing. Your ambition is to get ranking in certain ranking agency which uses XYZ database, but you follow a different database. So that doesn't work. You need to ensure all your work gets into considered for that ranking matrices and all. So follow that particular database, or at least keep a track of those journals which are indexed in those particular databases. It helps you in actually competing properly, right? So that's the most important. Then publish in high quality journals. That's the most important thing. So it works in a straightforward way. As a researcher, while you are doing the literature survey, you try to review certain articles in high quality journals. Am I right? You don't go towards a low quality journal. Consciously, you won't go. Similarly, if you want to have your own paper cited, you have to publish in high quality journals. Is it not? Like the way you are actually looking in high quality journals, other people also look in the high quality journals where your paper also will be. So you need to move towards publishing in the high quality journal. So, but suddenly a early career researcher or a junior faculty members or who are new to the researchers, they can't do that. So it's a progression basically. So for that, Elsevier can help you out with certain resources. I'll share it with you in a bit. Then while drafting your research article, please repeat the key phrases, okay, in the abstract. The key phrases means the keywords, okay, which has prompted you to take up this particular research, so that it picks up in the results. That's very, very important, because everyone are using the softwares and all, right, to get discovered, right? So please use the key terms, the key phrases while you draft it, and it should be natural. It's not that while you put your abstract, it is something like unnaturally you put up your keywords and all. So that's very important. While you do up complete your research, it's very important to assign certain keywords associated with your research work. So you need to naturally get it, okay, covered in your abstract, in your manuscript, everywhere you put it in properly, so that whenever someone puts those keywords, your research papers comes out and there are more views. When there are more views, more word citations. So these are the very important parts of planning. It goes in a planning. Please do that. Initially, it will take hardly 1 day, 2 days, let us say. But we keep practicing it, it will come on a flow, right? Then avoid selecting a question type of a title, right? So there are so many articles, people put a question kind of article, right? So try to avoid such kind of things, right? So that is not welcome by most of the journals and what do you say, reviewers. So try to do that. Then sharing detailed research data. So these days, researchers are being encouraged to share the research data as well along with your research article, right? So it is called as a fair data principle. It's a big subject again, right? So you can just try to search in the web to understand what is a fair data principle, and it is actually coming up a lot, and it helps you in attracting more citations as well, and it works. It really works. Okay, you can actually see the difference. An article without data, an article with data. So there is a difference in citations patterns as well, right? So please do consider this particular phrase, sharing detailed research data along with your research article. It really helps in attracting more citations. Then after that, the most of the times, because of the way the researchers and the faculty members are busy, okay, they just keep an end after publishing an article. There's the chief, because one should actually publicize your own work, because you need to understand that why one should come and look at your papers, right? So you need to actually create a case for that, and you need to publicize your work. Okay, as much as possible, try to link your published article in your signature, or wherever there is an in-house workshops happening. Try to publicize, talk about that, come out with some kind of what do you say, a newsletters kind of thing. Okay, which encourages the new researchers and the researchers inside your network and outside your network also. Okay, more searchable. Okay, so that helps you to have more views to your paper. So that's very important for us to publicize our work. Then another most important thing is make your research easily find, like searchable, and you should be, your research should be very easy to find basically. And there are so many aspects linked to it. One is reputation of your profile, your research work, your institution, everything links to it. When your research is easily findable, what happens? Again, more traffic comes into your research article. When more traffic comes in, more people will read. More people read, more citations. It works. And especially online searches, if you are ensuring that your research article is easily findable, okay, by taking care of all these what do you say, basics which I've told you about, key phrases, keywords, so it's easy for you that your articles comes out first, right? So it's easy. Apart from that, you can join academic and social network sites like Mendeley is the one. Mendeley is the one which actually helps you to attracting more attention rather. There's also one of the social networking sites also for the research. So these are the very important parts which are playing very important role. If time permits, I can just show it to you at the end how it is actually helping you in getting more citations or more traffic rather. Then track and analyze your progress. That's very important moving forward. It's important for us which factors have influenced, from which corners we got more citations and all. So it plays very important. So these are the ones, basics I can say, one can actually consider in their researcher, as a researcher career. We can actually follow these best practices, and it can show you the results moving forward, right? And how we can train ours, right? So there is a one tool, basically, resource center, I can say, in the name of Researcher Academy. It's a free tool, basically, right? Free e-learning platform from Elsevier. The URL also given over there. You can actually, all the early career researchers and everyone actually go through these particular free e-learning modules, and you can also earn the certifications. So it really helps in your careers as well. So please make use of these particular tools, which are made for the researchers alone, right? It's not for the general people, only exclusive for research. These are made, and these are free to use tools. Please make use of it. Right, there's a question popped up over here. Okay, yeah, thank you, Shashi. And yeah, there are certain open access resources also in the name of Digital Commons Network. Right, there's a link also over here, network.bpress. There are so much of content made available, which have very great academic value to all the academicians and to all the students as well. And these are the researchers, research output from the top universities as well. Right, you can just access to it. And if you want to be part of this network, we can discuss that particular part, because there is some licensing system also. There's a different topic altogether. But to have an understanding about these and to gain the academic value from these particular networks, please do make use of these particular tools, which are again free of cost. Right. So these are the ones which helps all of you, right, in enhancing your position as a researcher and overall help the institution to enhance the research and improve your research quality, right, and holistic improvement of your research can happen, right. And to be specific to your what do you say, institution, we can have the sessions differently next year. So means January onwards, we can have this session, and you can approach learn, okay, and we can schedule a session or schedule a meeting for that. Right now, we'll go back to the questions. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please do post in here. I'll just take up one question here. What are the most important research metrics? Like scholarly output, number of citations, and along these, if we get some overall idea about the research of specific area. So these all are interlinked, right? Let us say, if you don't have enough scholarly output, you won't get citation. But if you want me to tell what are the important research metrics for researcher, journal level metrics is very, very important. Right, where that particular researcher is publishing, where he's putting his research work. So that plays very important. That is a stepping stone. Then the next important one is number of citations. Then next important one would be citations per paper. So these are the interlinked. Okay, but for all these things to come up, research output overall whole number of research volume from an institution is very, very important, right? So these are the ones which are important, and most things are interlinked. Scholarly output is an quantitative metric. Citation is a qualitative one, right? Again, journal level metrics is again a qualitative metric. So we have different matrices. We can have a specific session about the metrics as well, right? But we can take up this particular thing when we discuss at the institutional level, because country level, if you talk about this, doesn't really people might not understand about it, right? And there's other question: can we get this patent edition? Yes, of course you can get it, no doubt about it. We can discuss this when we have a discussion at the institutional level. You can learn about this. We can schedule a call, and we can do. Okay. So let me. Which institution you are from? Jaffna. So let me go back, but I can't do it for all. Okay. So we have time for this, Sashini. We have 1 minute.
Yeah, actually we are running out of the time, but that's fine since this is online.
Just 1 minute. Yeah, just one, because There's a specific question. Jaffna, I've been there before COVID. So let me go to the Jaffna University. Yeah. So this tool, what I'm using, these are the Scopus data. You were the Scopus subscribers till pre-COVID era. Okay. And so this is what your number looks like. Again, this particular data is from 19 to 23. I will go to patent impact. Let me see if there are any data coming. Yeah, 9. So 9 scholarly output are being cited by the patents. Congratulations. And 11 patents have actually citing these scholarly output. And which are those ones? These are the patent owners, mostly from Luxembourg, European Union, then Colombia, United States are dominating this, France, and one in India as well. Okay, so these are the ones, right, the patent owners, and now they have cited. Right, and congratulations for that, 9 scholarly output. So we can even see the what do you say, the scholarly output as well. Right, these are the scholarly output. Frontiers in Materials, 2019. These are the ones. Oh, very recent one. That's great actually. Right. Tarsika, Hasib. So these are the ones actually the researchers, key researchers. Right. And we can have in detail as well, no doubt about it. Then parallelly we'll see the policy also. We have, having gone to that far, we can see the policy 23. 23 scholarly output of Jaffna universities. Okay, papers have been cited by 35 policy documents, and there are 20 policy bodies have cited these. Okay, again, World Health Organization, CGIAR, OECD, Asian Development Bank. These are the 4 which have actually cited your paper. So congratulations again. Okay, kudos to all your researchers. You guys are doing great job. Okay, congratulations. But otherwise, if you look at your overall impact, is 18% higher than the world average. Okay, congratulations. Please convey this to all your researchers. Okay, thank you so much for these questions, and we are running out of time. And please approach Learn. We can have one-to-one session, means specific institute to institution, and we can have this particular discussion. Okay. So soon I'll be visiting Jaffna in January. Okay. Thank you so much. Sashini, over to you.
Yeah, so we are coming to the end of the session. We occupied a little bit more time than we expected, but that's fine because we were sharing a lot of insights, information. So that's okay. Yeah, thank you very much for all joining today and especially actively engaging with this session. And we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Reddy for joining hand with Learn and supporting the effort of improving research performance in Sri Lanka. So we hope this session provided valuable insights for you to understand how the world rankings work, the factors impacting calibrating the rankings, and the status of research performance of Sri Lanka, and also the best practices you all can practice as researchers. So at Learn, we are committed to support your institutions in utilizing SciVal effectively and also to achieve excellence in research and collaboration. So we will be arranging more sessions in future, focusing on improving research performance of our universities. So if there are any specific requirements or specific request, you can write to me. I will put my email address here in the chat. So you can directly write to me any queries, any requests. Yes, so we can conclude the session for today. Thank you very much.
One request from my side, Shashini. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
If you can just collect the feedback if that is in the progress, do share it with me.
Sure.
It will be helpful for us. We are trying to interact next time.
Sure, I'll do.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.